Brutal. Emma Raducanu is such a heartbreaker. Those were the exact words, spoken with a playful glint in her eye, that erupted from Danielle Collins when she first came across Emma Raducanu's succinct response, addressing rumors of a burgeoning romance with Carlos Alcaraz. If that opening line sounds dramatic, that is because, in the fiercely competitive and image-conscious world of professional tennis, a simple comment can explode into endless speculation. So, what on earth is going on between Raducanu, the bright British sensation, and Alcaraz, the young Spanish powerhouse who is already collecting major titles like a child gathering seashells at the beach? And why would Danielle Collins, a former top 10 tennis star from the United States, call out Emma in such a tongue-in-cheek manner? In this story, we will dive deep into these swirling rumors, trace the lines that connect playful banter to serious ambition, and uncover how even the smallest spark of romance chatter can set the tennis world aflame. But first things first, how did Emma Raducanu, still quite young herself, find her name so thoroughly linked to Carlos Alcaraz in the lead-up to the hallowed lawns of Wimbledon? It all spiraled from a promotional shoot for a beverage brand, in which Emma and Carlos appeared together, relaxed and smiling. Pretty soon, the rumor mill whirred and clicked, spitting out suggestions that perhaps they were more than mere collaborators while filming. Then came the big revelation that they would be joining forces for a mixed doubles showdown at the upcoming United States Open. Naturally, fans and commentators alike went wild, imagining stolen kisses in practice breaks, intense eye contact on court, and all the other highlights of a blossoming sporting romance. Emma's rather direct press conference line, "We're just good friends," was enough to generate gasps through the tennis sphere, including Danielle Collins' joking remark that Emma was a heartbreaker. But how seriously should we be taking these rumors? In this deep dive, we will answer that question and examine many others. Why is the prospect of Emma and Carlos playing as a doubles team so tantalizing for fans? Does it really mean more than just professional collaboration on court? And is Danielle Collins' jesting comment about heartbreak just the tip of the iceberg, hinting at deeper, unspoken truths behind the practice courts and the hush-hush corridors of tennis's top-tier events? Before we get into all the nuances, let us track the personality of Emma Raducanu, a young athlete who rose from relative obscurity to claim a sensational Grand Slam crown at the tender age of 19. Her surprise run to victory at the 2021 United States Open made her an overnight sensation, and now she shoulders the weight of the British tennis world whenever she arrives at a major tournament. After that iconic victory, people clamored to know every detail of her personal life, from her parents' background to her musical preferences, and, of course, potential romantic entanglements. So, when she was spotted chatting happily with Carlos Alcaraz, the rumor mill roared to life. But let us not forget, tennis is an environment in which players from across the globe cross paths daily. They meet in locker rooms, training facilities, marketing events, and more. Innocent friendships can easily be misconstrued as something deeper. Carlos Alcaraz's trajectory has been similarly meteoric. Already in his teens, the Spaniard started collecting trophies with a gusto reminiscent of tennis legends. Fans admired his fierce baseline game, his calm under pressure, and his maturity that belied his youth. To date, he has captured 5 Grand Slam singles titles, a remarkable feat for someone so young. When journalists asked him recently about the buzz linking him to Emma Raducanu, he grinned, shrugged, and insisted that they have known each other for quite some time. The reasons? They have crossed paths in junior circuits, promotional events, and now find themselves converging on the biggest stages in tennis. Yet from Alcaraz's perspective, the alleged romance rumors appeared more comedic than anything else. Still, the chatter intensifies. And that is where Danielle Collins swoops into our narrative. Known for her fiery competitiveness and a personality that lights up press conferences, the American star joked that Emma's crisp statement, "We're just good friends," was brutal. Collins teased that it sounded like a real heartbreaker line, almost as if Emma had dismissed poor Carlos as just another friend-zoned suitor. But it seems improbable that Collins was hurling any genuine criticism Emma's way. It was more a friendly nudge, illuminating how quickly and dramatically these rumors explode, even when the players involved respond with the mildest disclaimers. Now, amidst the swirl of speculation, it is time to see how Emma's actual focus remains pinned on the grass courts of Wimbledon, where she faced, and many have said overcame with grace, the 17-year-old rising player Mimi Xu. In a tricky first-round draw, Emma had to harness the momentum from her supportive home crowd while ignoring the background noise of swirling gossip. If you are amazed at how a mere rumor can shadow a top athlete's performance on one of the sport's greatest stages, here is the first invitation to join the conversation. Let us share this moment together. If you have felt the tension and excitement building around celebrity stories in sports, or if you are simply fascinated by the interplay of personal lives and professional competition, feel free to show that enthusiasm a little love. Yes, that is your friendly nudge to tap that like button. Not only does it show your encouragement for these young athletes, but it also helps us keep delivering captivating stories from the hearts of courts around the globe. But let us continue. Given the demands of the tour, it is little wonder that Emma Raducanu, when asked about her alleged relationship with Alcaraz, delivered a response that was so short and to the point. The question came at a press conference bristling with inquiries about her Wimbledon prospects, her training regimen, and the unique pressures she faces as a British star in a prestigious hometown tournament. Then, out of nowhere, the rumor about Alcaraz reared its head, careening unpredictably into the conversation, like a misguided tennis ball. Emma laughed, said they were only friends, and that was that. But it is precisely this straightforward dismissal that led Danielle Collins to post online about Emma's brutal phrasing. "She is a heartbreaker," Collins teased, layering sarcasm on top of the playful camaraderie that often runs behind the scenes in women's tennis. As we look ahead to the United States Open in just a handful of weeks, we see the potential for more comedic moments and raw synergy because Emma Raducanu and Carlos Alcaraz have indeed confirmed that they will be stepping onto the court together, side by side, as a mixed doubles team. Historically, mixed doubles at Grand Slam's house a dose of showmanship amid the fierce competition. We have witnessed how star pairings, like Roger Federer and Serena Williams in the past, can captivate the entire planet. Now the tennis world anticipates what Raducanu and Alcaraz can accomplish as a dynamic duo. Will their presence create even bigger sparks, fueling the rumors even further? Or will their on-court chemistry simply highlight two supremely talented teenagers who share a mutual love for the racket and the game? Emma, for her part, seems eager to test the waters in mixed doubles, especially given her prior triumph at Flushing Meadows. That unforgettable run in 2021 saw her obliterate established veterans, while fans worldwide looked on in astonishment. Now, armed with more experience and perspective, she is willing to try new ventures on court. It was Alcaraz who jokingly hinted that it took her quite some time to answer his request. "I had to put in a special request, and Emma finally said yes," he quipped with a grin. Emma laughed about it later, insisting she was on board from the start, but that she had to run it by her coaching team. She joked that she had to keep Alcaraz on his toes. This bit of back and forth has created a flurry of conversation throughout social media, with fans fantasizing about a partnership brimming with unstoppable firepower. But let us not forget, tennis fans revel in drama. The concept of romance is always a surefire way to stoke intrigue. The moment any two players joke, bond, or spend time together in public, tongues begin to wag. Yet so many of these rumors fizzle out. The tennis circuit, and indeed the entire city of London during Wimbledon, can amplify stories from an offhand glance into a full-blown saga. Perhaps Danielle Collins' heartbreaker comment was merely an arrow pointing directly at how humorously intense this phenomenon can become. Looking away from the glitzy rumor mills, Raducanu's professional challenges are formidable. She had to navigate the bright and sometimes unforgiving spotlight at the All England Club, an environment that can sometimes feel suffocating for British players who want to thrive on home soil. This is especially relevant given that Emma's match against the talented, fearless 17-year-old Mimi Xu was not some easy warm-up. Xu, with so many years ahead of her, is unencumbered by pressure and brimming with ambition. That dynamic spelled potential danger for Emma, who has felt the sting of unexpected defeats since her groundbreaking triumph in 2021. Reflecting on Sergio, or simply any tennis coach's perspective, it must be tough to watch your budding star juggle intense training schedules, swirling speculation about her personal life, and the high-stakes environment of major competitions. The pressure of defending a Grand Slam title, or simply trying to replicate the brilliance that led to a major breakthrough, can weigh heavily on a young athlete's mind. For Emma, the real story might not be Alcaraz at all. The real tension in her life may come from the quest to confirm her status, to prove that her Grand Slam success was not a fluke, that she can stand tall among the women's game's top contenders. Yet, ironically, a handful of fans seem fixated on whether or not she and Carlos are sharing candlelit dinners. What about the perspective of Carlos Alcaraz? He is an athlete phenomenon, capturing the imagination of so many around the world who see him as a new scion of Spanish tennis. He is chasing after the milestones set by his idol, perhaps a certain other Spanish legend known for clay court supremacy. Nevertheless, the next step in Alcaraz's storyline is forging an identity separate from that imposing lineage. Teaming up with Emma Raducanu in the mixed doubles bracket at the United States Open could be a clever and fun decision, or it could be ambition on full display. A winner's mentality can only be fueled by experiences that spark joy and comfort on court. Maybe mixing up the routine with a friend, away from the relentless stress of the singles draw, helps lighten the load. Now, if you are as enthralled by the inside scoop dimension of these tennis narratives as I am, and if you feel a spark of curiosity about how this story will evolve, take a moment for the second friendly call to action. Consider subscribing to stay in the loop. You will not want to miss the next chapters of this saga, especially when the players step onto the courts in New York City, or hush swirling romantic gossip in post-match interviews. With one simple click, you can keep track of Emma and Carlos's progress, both as singles powerhouses and as a potential unstoppable mixed doubles team. Many fans, upon hearing of the Collins comment, worried that Emma might feel embarrassed. However, Emma Raducanu tends to handle these moments with composure beyond her years. She has shrugged off everything from commentary about her potential burnout to the expectations piled upon her to produce a home Wimbledon triumph. So, a stray remark from a fellow player is unlikely to shake her. If anything, it highlights a universal truth in modern tennis. Behind the polished surfaces of the game, humor and playful teasing are still abundant. Players who know each other well will naturally share inside jokes, forming a tapestry of camaraderie that the public rarely sees, overshadowed as it is by hyper-serious matchday coverage. Besides, Danielle Collins herself is not malicious by any stretch. She has had her share of ups and downs in tennis, and she likely knows that a simple remark can generate waves in the echo chamber of social media. Meanwhile, fans are left with a swirl of possibilities. Could the Emma Raducanu and Carlos Alcaraz story actually be reminiscent of other sporting power couples that combine performance and paparazzi appeal? Or is it destined to vanish, overshadowed by the next wave of tennis controversies and match results? Here, some might recall how tennis fans once speculated about other duos. The phenomenon is hardly new. The difference now is that social media intensifies every glance, every cryptic comment, and every cameo. If Emma places a supportive comment under Carlos's Instagram post, watchers of the tennis gossip world will decode it to see if it implies romance, or just a friendly note of encouragement. From the vantage point of their coaches and teams, it might be a balancing act to not let innocent distractions expand into mental burdens. Sponsors love the hype, the possibility of star pairings, and the social media chatter that draws more eyes to the sport. But from a purely athletic standpoint, the goal is to remain calm, to keep training consistent, and to tackle each match with a champion's mindset. These routines can be thrown into disarray if a rumor takes on a life of its own. Emma is already used to deflecting speculation and focusing on the next shot, but it remains an ongoing test. Of course, it all loops back to the main question. Are Emma and Carlos truly just good friends, or is there something more simmering behind the scenes? The real answer might never fully see the light of day, or it may be that there is no hidden truth in the first place. After all, tennis players operating at this level can rarely afford to let personal drama overshadow their grueling schedules. There are flights to catch, matches to play, press obligations to meet, and fans to please. If they do nurture something deeper, they might keep it private until they feel the time is right. Alternatively, it is totally possible that they share an uncomplicated friendship, rooted in mutual respect for each other's rapid ascents in the sport. And let us not gloss over the presence of Mimi Xu, the young British wildcard whose place in Emma's Wimbledon first-round match became a footnote for many fans, overshadowed by the more tabloid-friendly speculation. The fact is, Zhu is a teenager stepping onto one of the biggest tennis stages in the world, with everything to gain and little to lose. Emma's own memories of making waves at Wimbledon just 2 years ago, when she was yet to become the unstoppable force that would capture the hearts of tennis enthusiasts, are fresh in everyone's minds, including Emma's. It would be a significant storyline in and of itself, an underdog brimming with potential, stepping toe-to-toe with a Grand Slam champion on grass. But the eyes of the tennis world sometimes drift away from these building block narratives to fixate on personalities and swirling rumors. As the final upward note, imagine the day in August when Emma Raducanu and Carlos Alcaraz stroll on to the sparkling courts of the United States Open to begin their mixed doubles campaign. The cameras will be snapping, the crowd will buzz, and, inevitably, each subtle interaction, be it a high five, a shared celebration, or a side glance, will be dissected. Commentators might joke about whether Emma or Carlos calls the shots, about the synergy of their playing styles, or about the intangible chemistry that they bring. All across social media, fans will devour highlights, analyzing freeze-frame gestures to see if there is secret affection in the air. Meanwhile, Danielle Collins might offer another tongue-in-cheek remark from the sidelines, fueling the comedic dimension of this entire spectacle. As we wrap up, recall that tennis storylines are as varied as the personalities that shape them. Some revolve around the raw grit of 5-set battles. Others linger on controversies in the boardrooms of tennis organizations. And then there are the stories that revolve around human connections, ephemeral or real, that ignite the imagination. Emma Raducanu and Carlos Alcaraz might be just good friends, but the excitement of a potential romance, their playful back and forth, and the comedic commentary from Danielle Collins turn an ordinary marketing setup into the talk of the tennis world. It reminds us that while championships are won on the courts, legacies and legends can be forged by something as simple as a rumor that refuses to die. No matter how the next weeks unfold at Wimbledon, or how the upcoming United States Open shapes their journey, one thing is certain. Emma Raducanu and Carlos Alcaraz are two of the most magnetic talents to arrive in professional tennis in recent memory. And whether it is the drama of a contested press conference, the hush of a critical tiebreak, or the swirl of speculation about an off-court friendship, these young stars have proven time and again that attention will follow them wherever they go. When the final ball is struck, what remains is the undeniable truth that tennis fans around the globe will hungrily await the next chapter, the next rumor, and the next hint of romance or rivalry that keeps our hearts pounding and our eyes glued to the screen.